Lisbeth, can you just check your microphone? It's rubbing up against something.
Okay.
I'll say namaste and welcome again, so it's on the recording.
Okay, ¿me puedes escuchar ahora? Can you hear me now better?
Yes, we can hear you. It was just a little, the mic was rubbing on something before.
Okay.
So today's another deep look with Jesus at where we don't want to follow guidance at all.
Hoy vamos a mirar profundamente con Jesús cuando estamos fuera de la guía o de todo.
So, and I'll mention we do have power right now, and I think we should make the whole session with our new battery pack backup. We'll see how it goes.
Ok, vamos a mirar esta sesión con un nuevo patrón y vamos a seguir
We're on God power now.
con el poder de Dios ahora.
And just, it's helpful to see how much rage there is, even the thought of Jesus or God telling us what to do. Jesus, do I get mad about that?
Ok, vamos a ver cuán poderoso y útil es todo esto de ver las cosas como las ve Dios y la ve Jesús en todo esto.
Like if you've ever had a parent or a teacher and they tell you to do something and you would just get so mad.
Vamos a ver cuánto a esta locura de ser estudiante o de ser compañeros o de ser un profesor, un maestro.
Like, I don't like following somebody else telling me what to do.
No me gusta el que alguien esté tratando de decirme qué es o seguir la guía de que alguien me diga lo que tengo que hacer.
Okay. That right there, at the slightest twitch, when someone says something like that, that's the authority problem.
Cuando alguien nos dice lo que tenemos que hacer y tenemos algún problema, alguna incomodidad con eso, tiene que ver con un problema de la autoridad.
Because natural state does not twitch every time there's a sound in the world.
Porque en la naturaleza del ser es no sentirse incómodo con nada en el mundo.
So Lisbeth, can you just hold your microphone about like maybe right here, but near your mouth, so it somehow it's rubbing against something.
Okay, yeah. I'm taking away again. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So it's not natural to constantly be angry. As Jesus said, anger is never justified.
No es natural el que estemos constantemente disgustados por las cosas.
So even the concept that there's someone out there that could make you mad is the denial of divinity, because there's no one out there.
Ok, incluso el solo concepto de pensar que algo afuera pueda hacernos molestar o sentir mal es una negación, es la negación de nuestra propia divinidad.
Okay, there's one.
Hay una.
That's
o sea,
it.
somos uno, solamente hay uno. There's one, solamente hay uno.
So it's not natural for the one to go around twitching to all these sounds. That's a play in consciousness to make the experience of other.
No es natural que el que es solo uno pueda sentirse mal por algo que aparentemente sucede afuera, el percibir que hay algo afuera, que hay algún otro.
So all Jesus is saying, trying to whisper in our ear,
todo lo que Jesús está tratando de mostrarnos es todo lo que hay aquí.
is that there is no other out there, and you're holy, whole, and complete.
Que no hay, está tratando de mostrarnos, de que veamos de que no hay nada afuera, que en la totalidad que somos completos.
You are not a twitch factory.
No somos una fábrica de disgustos o incomodidades.
So consciousness is tricky. Through desire, it creates an experience so it can react to something out there. Seemingly there's something out there.
Ok, el juego de la conciencia es justamente hacer que en nosotros ese juego, ese truco de que creamos que hay algo afuera que nos pueda molestar, que hay algo afuera.
There's something happening out there that's making me angry or me upset or
Ok, haciéndome creer que pueda haber algo afuera que me pueda hacer sentir incómodo o disgustado.
so that's the way it has to work, to act like God or Jesus is going to make me, see the me, do something.
Incluso eso de que Jesús o Dios puedan tratar de hacer que yo haga algo.
It's going to make me do something I don't want to do.
Va a tratar de hacer de que yo haga algo que yo haga algo que no quiero hacer.
And that's the way it protects its little kingdom of hell.
Esa es la manera de proteger su pequeño reino del infierno.
It's saying, I'm not going to do what Jesus said, so I can keep playing separate.
Ok, no voy a hacer lo que Jesús está diciéndome porque voy a hacer o voy a cuidar mi voluntad, o sea, lo que quiero hacer por mi cuenta separado.
So all Jesus can do is he whispers in your, I'm going to show you where in your mind you like to pretend like you're separate. That's all he can do. That's his function.
Eso es todo lo que hace Jesús, es decirnos, mostrarnos en nuestra mente todo lo que hacemos para justificar o pretender decir que estamos separados.
And so then the ego goes, no, it's going to be bad if I do that. That's terrible. I'm going to die.
Entonces el ego te va a decir, no, eso es terrible, vamos a morir, o sea, va a tratar de hacer todo negativo.
But see, it's going to be a but I have all this stuff to do. I have all these obligations. I've promised people things.
Esas son, o sea, van a ser a obligarte. Eso es lo que la gente piensa.
But you have to see what it's really saying at a subconscious level. It's going, I don't want to see that I am divine.
Yo no, que todo lo que te quiere decir detrás de esta creencia del pecado es que yo no puedo o que no soy un ser divino.
So it's the two-headed beast over here. It's saying one thing, but what it really means is I don't want to see the truth.
Todo lo que significa detrás de ello es que no quiero ver la verdad.
I don't want to see that I'm as God made me.
Lo que no quiero ver, lo que el no reconocimiento de Dios o el desconocimiento de Dios puede hacerme.
So when he gives you assignment, he's just showing you where these things are active and going, do not invest in those.
Ok, cuando haces tus asignaciones, o no haces tus asignaciones, sencillamente estás invirtiendo en no querer ver lo que pueda suceder o lo que puedas hacer.
So it's absolutely, that's why guidance is essential, because you don't see where these things are active. You'll so quickly, that's why we're learning to speak only this voice, because we don't even, you go in almost to a trance. Well, it is a trance. It's a trance, and coming with this justification of why you can't see what's true.
Sí, porque todo lo que se está tratando es de que tu mente pueda ver claramente lo que pueda estar sucediendo o pareciera estar escondido detrás para negar lo que eres realmente, tu ser divino, lo que es verdad.
It's like Jesus is saying, do not underestimate how deep this trance is, that the spell you've cast on yourself.
Jesús lo que quiere es que veamos profundamente todo lo que hay para poder reconocernos en lo que somos.
And really, that, you know, willingness is very powerful, but this whole looking is to see how much unwillingness there is going on down here in the subconscious mind, unwilling to see the truth.
Ok, la voluntad es muy poderosa y tenemos que estar dispuestos a ir bajo nuestro nivel de conciencia para poder ver la verdad.
It takes real deep honesty of God to see, to turn over every single area of the mind to Him to be shown.
Tenemos que hacerlo a través de la honestidad de Dios, el ir profundamente dentro de nuestra mente subconsciente para poder ver la verdad de lo que está sucediendo.
See, and if you're not following Him, you're bound to this voice.
Si tú no sigues y detienes, o sea, en seguir esta voz,
you're bound to the voice that's deeply saying, I don't want to see what's true.
Lo que en realidad quiere decir es que no, que le dices a la voz, es que no quiero ver la verdad.
It makes all kinds of machinations and sounds on the surface and why it all can't be done and why it's impossible.
Ok, todo lo que vas a escuchar son excusas para no ver la verdad y te va a decir que todo eso es imposible. Sencillamente son peros y obstáculos que vas a interponer.
So down here in the subconscious mind, what it's actually saying, I would rather die a horrible death than see the truth.
Todo lo que en realidad en el juego de la conciencia te dice de que vas a morir si llegas a ver la verdad.
And to really be willing to look with Him at everything, every situation you're in, where you're living, what you're doing.
Ok, debes estar dispuesto a disponer toda tu voluntad, a ponerlo sobre la mesa, por decirlo así, todo lo que piensas, todo lo que haces, todo lo que estás haciendo.
You know, because again, it's the way it works is the guidance is you may not even be living in the right place. You got to be just open to everything.
Ok, tú tienes que estar abierto a toda, o sea, tienes que estar abierto a seguir la guía, porque en el mundo van a tratar, el mundo va a tratar de que tú no te reconozcas.
You know, it's like the ego's going, well, why are my tenants such a problem? Well, are you, or my neighbors such a problem? It's like, is it guidance even to be living there? We want to go to Jesus and go fix my neighbors. You know?
Ok, si quiero seguir a Jesús y hacer las cosas bien, sencillamente te va a desviar hacia otro lado y va a decir, bueno, no eres tú, es tu vecino el que tiene el problema. Tienes que arreglar a tu vecino para poder seguir la guía.
And then the way it works is then it goes, okay, then it dives into the bubble over here and it actually will say, you know, yes, I'm following Jesus. And it's this voice saying, oh, I'm following Jesus.
Ok, en la burbuja tú dices, ok, sí, de manera insana, que estás siguiendo a Jesús.
So that the ego can keep its out picturing its little safety of what it's doing or what kind of job it has or where it's living.
Ok, entonces el ego va a tratar de pintarte una falsa apariencia de seguridad, de tranquilidad en el lugar donde estés.
So he's been emphasizing, and a number of you are seeing it too, that you have to follow everything, every question, bring every question to him.
Ok, entonces debemos hacer énfasis en que debemos tratar de seguir la guía en cada cosa, cada pregunta y preguntar cada cosa, cada paso que demos.
I'm asking him if I can say what it is. Okay, so what it's like stabbing yourself in the heart and then going to Jesus. Okay, Jesus, can you tell me which hospital I need to go to?
Ok, es preguntarle a Jesús. Ok, Jesús, can you repeat the last sentence, please?
Would you stab yourself in the heart and then go, okay, Jesus, which hospital do I go to?
Ok, tenemos incluso que preguntarle a Jesús, ok, Jesús, ¿a qué hospital tenemos que ir?
Yes, he can suggest a hospital, but the cow's kind of out of the barn at that point. You know, you
Sí, puedes ir al hospital, pero bueno, tienes que preguntar.
you know, he can't. I mean, you've given him a little crack to help you, you know, instead of going, okay, you know, because you're in guilt for not following him way back here. You stab yourself because you want to experience a feeling you're stabbed, and then you ask him, okay, which hospital?
Ok, tenemos que preguntar entonces a Jesús, porque si no quieres o si has decidido vivir la experiencia de la culpa, entonces no vas a preguntar.
So let's just ask him, Jesus, are there areas in that I'm doing that to myself right now? Yes or no?
Ok, tenemos que preguntarle a Jesús si hay áreas en mi mente donde deseo hacer eso, sí o no.
You know, just be honest about it with them and talk to them about it and say, where are the areas in my life where I'm sticking to what I think I want. The I is going to keep its little way.
Ok, tenemos que ser honestos y preguntar en qué áreas de mi vida quiero hacer las cosas de esta manera, a mi manera.
See, it's already made a decision that it wants to be stabbed, and so it's going to have that experience.
Tenemos que ser muy honestos y tomar la decisión acerca de si estamos buscándonos esta experiencia.
So he gives a prompt, okay, go here or do this.
Entonces, ve y hace eso.
And then the way it works is then it says no, so it can keep the guilt and have the experience of stabbing itself.
Ok, si él dice que no, entonces debemos obviar la culpa por lo que creamos que deba ser.
And on the way to the stabbing, it's saying Jesus will be with me everywhere.
Ok, lo que debemos decir entonces es que Jesús está conmigo o va conmigo a todas partes.
So, but you can ask him if that's true. That's how consciousness plays.
Y podemos preguntar si esto es verdad en el juego de la conciencia.
See, it doesn't follow, so it can fall on its own sword and having an experience of pain and suffering and then go, Jesus, help me.
Entonces tenemos que pedir ayuda a Jesús para no entrar en este juego del sufrimiento y la culpa. Jesús, ayúdame.
And then he says, okay, now go to this hospital, and you go, no, I think the better doctor's over here.
Ok, entonces Jesús nos puede decir, no vayas a este hospital, es mejor que el doctor venga acá.
Hi, Lisbeth, the microphone's still tapping something.
Okay, I'm moving the place. Okay,
Okay.
now again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, but that's what the ego doesn't want to see. What's really happening when you don't follow guidance, that you are, you know, how important this is. I certainly didn't realize how important it was 100%.
El ego no quiere que tú lo sigas y no quiere que te des cuenta cuán importante es de que sigas la guía al 100%.
And how much in the play of consciousness at a subconscious level, we would rather fall on our sword. We'd rather have that experience than actually see the truth.
Ok, y no sabemos en este juego de la conciencia cómo eso que hacemos es como una espada sobre nuestro cuello al no seguir la guía.
So this really is being willing to lay every area of the life on the table.
Ok, es muy importante el tener la disposición de colocar todas las áreas de nuestra vida sobre la mesa, o sea, en ese entregar a la guía.
And really be open, like to see like how we've decided something, we've already made a decision way back when without him, And now
Okay.
we're, you know,
Ok, saber el estar dispuesto a colocar todas las áreas de nuestro pensamiento y de nuestra vida.
so Lisbeth, if you can hold the microphone like with your hand, like so right about here, are you wearing a headset? Kind of,
Yes.
yeah. So the mic has to be maybe held right about here.
This is
near-
better.
Yes, because otherwise, every time you move or something, it
Yes.
it makes background. Okay, thank you, love.
Okay.
So catching this trick or being so committed with mighties.
Percatarnos de esto y estar comprometidos con la santidad y el
Like,
poder.
you know, like Maria, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, where she asked, okay, you know, about that money she invested and then she lost the money. And
Okay.
then what does she do now, Jesus?
Ok, tal cual como el ejemplo de María hace un par de semanas, con el dinero que ella invirtió y estuvo dispuesta a preguntar entonces, Jesús, ¿y ahora cómo hago?
And of course, he will help you.
Y por supuesto, Él te ayudará.
Because he's there to help you, but it's even more helpful to see where that she was willing to do, to see that she wasn't it wasn't in guidance to invest the money in the first place.
Ok, para que ella pudiera ver con claridad y en primer lugar seguir la guía en cuanto a la inversión del dinero en primer lugar.
You know, and then to see where she was investing in, like in the play of consciousness, not personal, but seeing where she's investing in that experience of loss or betrayal or those other desired experience.
Ok, y ver cuánto estaba invirtiendo ella en su experiencia personal de la pérdida y de que pudieran hacerle trampa, pudieran estafarla.
And just being willing, you know, at first it seems like it's a lot of traction where you have to say no and say yes to what he says and say no to the ego.
Ok, y reconocer ese deseo y cuán atraída se podría sentir y poder decirle entonces que no al ego.
And be equally willing to have forgiveness for what even hearing about a certain type of guidance is going to bring up into awareness. See, the purpose of it is to see where we're withholding from ourselves.
Can you repeat again, please?
Sorry, the purpose to when you hear guidance and you feel quote unquote resistance to it, to step into it and look at that.
Ok, cuando escuchas la guía, insistir en poder escuchar y poder seguir lo que estás escuchando.
So to actually look at what's arising in the mind when you start to hear something or someone suggests something that's in guidance, notice the contractions, notice the pullback, notice that you want to make an immediate argument.
Ok, ver todo lo que está surgiendo a través en tu mente sin argumentar, sino el estar dispuesto a escuchar.
You know, and just notice where because you can start to watch how the mind immediately it's throwing up objections, it's throwing stones in the bush, and it's just saying don't look to see that this is not true.
Ok, puedes ver si lo que está surgiendo en tu mente es o no verdad.
So now's a good time for like honesty, the deep of steep, light of divine being, honesty of God. What part of my mind am I protecting from you, Jesus?
Ok, ese es un momento perfecto para poder preguntar qué parte de mi mente está tratando de proteger mis aparentes propios intereses de Jesús.
And then write down notes of what he tells you.
y no ver lo que él te está diciendo.
Where am I blocking the hearing of your voice?
¿Dónde estoy bloqueando la escucha de su voz?
Which special relationships am I hanging on to?
¿Cuál relación especial estoy aún sosteniendo?
What relationships haven't I given over to you for your guidance?
¿Qué relación especial estoy prefiriendo o colocando en primer lugar a tu guía?
What situations in my life have I not given over to you for guidance, either, you know, where I'm living, where I'm working?
¿Qué situación en mi vida estoy colocando en primer lugar antes que escuchar tu guía? Can you hear me, Kai?
Yes, I think you can
Yes,
just hold
because
the
you're
microphone.
frozen. No, you know the microphone is the internet connection that someone is frozen.
Yeah, it's okay. If you can hold the mic just a little bit further from your mouth, that would be good. There's just a lot of interference coming, but it's not,
Yeah.
I know the internet's also doing that as well.
Yes. Okay, move again. Okay.
But it's just a conversation with them. You're going to laugh. You will laugh when you start hearing the places in your life you weren't following. It's not to make you wrong. It's just for learning.
Ok, debes reír, debes sonreír, es sencillamente una conversación con él. No debes como que hacer juicio o estar preocupado. Es sencillamente es una conversación.
And then see where that sense of independence, where that death is wanted. I want the experience of death more than I want God.
Ok, es una conversación donde vas a poder ver con él si prefieres la muerte a escuchar a Dios.
And it really is a everyday conversation.
Es en realidad una conversación diaria.
But again, if we keep asking him in the ambulance, which hospital, you know, he can't really help us at the highest. It's not the fastest way.
No es algo que sencillamente es un camino rápido si se preguntamos ya cuando estamos en la ambulancia,
See,
camino al hospital.
we're not taking enough responsibility for the mind to be going, you know, to be seeing where we're denying ourselves light, which is guidance, is light, is acceptance of light.
Ok, es tomar la responsabilidad de nuestra conciencia y hacerlo todo bajo la guía, porque de eso depende nuestra vida.
And that's where this radical, deep honesty of God, self-honesty is so essential.
El ser honesto, estar desde la honestidad de Dios es realmente esencial.
And devoting part of the day, I know a number of you are in the chapter 20 program.
Y estar comprometido a hacer el programa del capítulo 20.
See, after a miracle is the best time. You'll be the most clear with him to ask for guidance. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. So can you translate? So after you clear your mind with miracles is really the best time to be in communication with him about guidance.
Después de clarificar tu mente con el milagro, este es el momento exacto para escuchar la guía.
Because then your mind's clear after that miracle.
Sí, porque es claro después del milagro.
And then if you need to confirm it, then join with a partner and just make sure it's really, really clear what he's asking.
Y si quieres estar realmente claro, puedes unirte con tu hermano para poder tener la confirmación de que es así.
And then the other part that is really critical, of course, is the follow through.
Y la otra parte que es realmente crítica o importante es seguirlo o hacerlo a través de la guía.
Because this is the other place where the ego gets involved.
Ese es el otro juego en el que el ego está envuelto.
You'll hear the guidance and it'll quickly come in and go all the reasons why I can't do it or why I can delay it.
Entonces, al escuchar la guía o lo que tenemos que hacer, entonces viene el juego de la conciencia o del ego de decirle que por qué tengo que hacerlo o a demorar lo que tengo que hacer.
So in the last session, we talked about, at first you're trying to hear what.
En la última sesión estuvimos hablando de que debemos tratar de escuchar qué.
Where am I going, Jesus?
¿Y a dónde voy, Jesús?
Okay. Then when as you have that trust of constantly turning this way to ask them, then it's when. We were talking about the precision of the timing. When is that?
Y si vas confiado, puedes preguntar y escuchar con precisión cuándo es el momento de hacer eso.
See, we can be clear on whatever guidance we choose to be clear on because it's our voice.
Ok, podemos estar entonces claros en que toda esta guía es nuestra voz.
So
Es
the
la-
only way not to be clear on guidance is to choose not to see the truths.
La única manera de no estar seguros es no querer saber la verdad.
So the way what I found helpful, at least on honing that timing thing until I could say, okay, what date am I going, Jesus? What time? Which one of these?
¿Cuándo Jesús? Es preguntarle a Jesús cuándo Jesús, a qué hora lo hacemos, en qué momento.
Okay, it's coming back up. I'll let it reboot. It just went to battery power.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we just flipped over to battery power. How many minutes, Mary, do we have?
44.
What?
44.
Oh, we have 44 minutes on battery. Well, that's long enough, isn't it?
Mhm.
Está preguntando acerca de los minutos y entonces llevamos 44.
Okay, so if it beeps again, Mary, can you just go over there? There's a little, on the right-hand side, you'll see a little speaker button that has a speaker on it. If you look down under and you just press that, you see that?
Está buscando el botón
You
para
gotta turn
entonces
off
ver.
the beeping, otherwise we'll have nonstop beeping.
Oh, the beeping's off now.
Ok, está.
Okay. Okay. So what I found helpful was that if I heard a date, I would test. No, it's not off. Hold on a minute.
Ok. I cannot hear you, Kai.
So we're back. Okay, so then if I heard a certain date, I would just test other dates around it using the bobblehead of Jesus. Is this right, Jesus?
Si escuchamos algo acerca de la fecha y podemos preguntar para asegurarnos Jesús, es esta, o sea, repreguntar para
And-
verificar el tiempo. Ya.
But you can only do that when your mind is just completely open to his guidance. Otherwise, that ego gets involved and goes, "This date sounds good to me 3 months from now."
Esto lo podemos hacer cuando estamos completamente seguros y preguntarle, ok, ¿es esta fecha el tiempo en el cual debe hacerse?
So it directly reflects the priority that's being put on seeing what's true in divinity.
Ok, eso es sencillamente colocar en primer lugar lo que es la divinidad del ser.
So you can ask him in honesty of God, in light of the divine being, when you look at the list, hopefully everybody's bringing their list of things that they are doing or planning of doing. Planning.
Ok, es preguntarle en la honestidad de Dios, de acuerdo a la divinidad del ser, si este plan está de acuerdo con su voluntad.
That you're deeply using the guidance worksheet to confirm that this is guided by Jesus.
Y es preguntar profundamente desde la honestidad si esto que estoy escuchando, que estoy viendo, está conforme de acuerdo a la guía de Jesús.
And you can ask him, Jesus, am I willing to go out of my comfort zone to see the truth of my identity?
Y es decirle a Jesús que está dispuesto a comprometerse y si esto viene de su verdadera identidad.
Because I'm just asking, there is 100% chance you will be going outside of your comfort zone if you want to wake up.
Ok, si quieres despertar, debes estar comprometido 100% a escuchar la guía y a seguir su voz.
That's just has to happen because the ego is keeping fear alive in the mind, and until you turn into it and really not experience it but face it to see that it's not true, you're binding yourself into hell.
Ok, eso es lo que quiere el ego, que no te reconozcas, que no te busques en tu verdadera, en tu verdad, en tu verdadero ser y mantenerte en el infierno.
So that's all we're looking at. Where are we binding ourselves by trusting this voice right here and really being honest in your list that you bring? Is there anything I'm missing on this list, Jesus?
Ok, es cuestión de confiar en esta voz, puesto que el ego va a tratar de que tú desconfíes y es preguntarle a Jesús honestamente, ¿hay algo que yo desconozca, Jesús?
I'm talking to him just about sickness. Like if we're sick, does that mean there's some part of our mind out of guidance?
Estoy preguntando por signos o señales, o sea, preguntar por signos o señales de que estoy actuando fuera de la guía.
So, yeah, I'm just talking to him about body things.
Está hablando acerca de cosas del cuerpo.
See, we have to realize that the guidance is always go for the miracle first.
La
That's the
guía
guidance.
va por el milagro primeramente.
Guidance is number one, accept the miracle and don't accept anything other than that.
Estar guiado o sentirse guiado o aceptar la guía es ir primeramente por el milagro y nada más.
But in the meantime, Jesus uses other forms of guidance to show us where we're hiding from miracles in our own mind.
Ok, entonces Jesús nos va a mostrar en nuestra mentalidad errada donde estamos tratando de no aceptar el milagro.
So so the favorite thing of the ego is some kind of body type sensations.
Una de las cosas preferidas del ego es atarnos a las sensaciones corporales.
So even when you're following, it can seem like a lot of body sensations come up.
Okay, incluso siguiendo la guía pueden venir algunas sensaciones corporales.
But we have to, at first, we're so used to playing the game of being weak and subject to sensations.
Ok, no podemos permitir que eso sea una debilidad, el darle ese poder a esas sensaciones corporales.
And we're so used to following this voice all the time rather than accepting a miracle.
Y es útil al seguir la guía que aceptemos el milagro.
And loving the experience of feeling powerless.
Y amar la experiencia de sentirnos sin poder.
We do not see that we can say right here, right now, I refuse to have this experience. I want a miracle now.
Y decir, o sea, negar cualquier otra cosa y decir que aquí y ahora rehúso cualquier otra cosa que no sea la aceptación del milagro.
See, that's the ultimate guidance, the miracles now.
Esa es la última guía, o sea, quiero el milagro ahora, lo acepto ahora.
But it takes a lot of him showing a lot of things before we see that the power of the mind has to say that, saying, I do not accept this. I do not accept this.
Ok, y nos muestra cómo nosotros buscamos la manera de no aceptar eso, y eso es lo que nos muestra Jesús.
There is not one body sensation that I've ever asked Jesus about where I've said, do I need to feel that, Jesus? Where he has told me flat out, no. There's not one.
Ok, no hay ninguna sensación y podemos preguntarle a Jesús si hay alguna que pueda mostrarnos que estamos o no haciendo lo que debemos hacer.
So it's good to ask him, Jesus, am I choosing every single body and sensation I have ever had or will have?
Ok, podemos preguntarle a Jesús si hay alguna sensación corporal que debamos o no debamos tener.
See, remember he says, so we don't follow, it's so that we can project that guilt out into a body experience.
I cannot hear you. Ok, que si sentimos alguna cosa, puede ser algún deseo, alguna proyección de experienciar el cuerpo.
Okay, Mary, how are we doing at time on the timer? So we can ask some questions here. 33 minutes. So we're going to do like 10 minutes of shares here, 10 or 15 minutes.
Ok,
So
tenemos 33 minutos y tenemos 10 minutos para compartir.
Yeah, we won't go to 0.
¿Alguien tiene algo?
Okay, so does anyone have any questions or anything that they're seeing that they want to share that Jesus is showing them about guidance?
Ok, ¿alguien tiene algo para compartir que quiera hablar acerca de la guía de Jesús?
You can just kind of raise your mystical hand. Okay, Renee.
Renee.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I was just asking.
Ella estaba preguntando.
What I was hearing is that it's like there's that play going on where I'm already making up my mind.
Ella está preguntando y pregunta, o sea, y dice si está lista en su mente.
And then I'm just really giving myself hell.
Y quiero saber cómo.
But I am following some of the time.
And what makes it okay to follow some of the time?
Y de escuchas a través de la guía que está bien todo el tiempo.
I hear powerless, like I just don't
Ella
think
se siente impotente.
and like it seems like I'm not capable of
Y ella no piensa.
being clear and consistent all the time. I don't.
So a better way to put that is I'm making a decision not to be clear and consistent all the time.
Yes.
Y ella siente que no escucha, que no tiene clara la guía siempre.
And then the other thing was just, yes, I'm making a decision not to be clear. What was it? Clear and
Decisive all the time. It's a decision.
Ella no sabe si esa decisión claramente tiene que ver con la guía.
okay.
See, thanks, Renee. The only
Yep.
way he can actually help us
La única manera de que esto pueda ser útil
is if he gives us a desired experience and then we are committed to take it all the way, to clear it all the way. Otherwise, it's years of just living in the kerfuffle.
Ok, es estar dispuesto e ir profundamente para escuchar lo que tiene que decir.
And the same things cropping up, and then because the ego is just relishing living in all that stuff.
Porque el ego se regodea en todas esas cosas.
So it really is, it is a decision that you have to get to the point, you know, in the play of consciousness, it is not acceptable that this is unholy, not following 100%. We do have to get to that point. There's no place else to go. That is the atonement.
Ok, es una decisión, es tomar la decisión, y el no hacerlo no es algo que tenga, o sea, que esté comprometido con nuestra santidad. Debemos estar comprometidos a escuchar la guía, si no, no se está haciendo.
So that switch in the mind, we're the ones who have to choose to change our minds that it's valuable not to follow 100%.
Ok, es como un switch, en nuestra mente, el estar dispuesto a hacerlo. Y si no lo hacemos 100%, entonces no llegamos a ver el resultado de seguir la guía.
You know, it's being responsible for our mind. It's anything else is not being responsible for accepting all the love of the Father.
Y no hacerse responsable por aceptar el amor de nuestro Padre, todo el amor del Padre.
You know, it's either this or it's hell, basically. And then we're reporting on how, well, you know, I can't.
Es aceptar esto, el cielo, o aceptar el infierno, el seguir o no seguir la guía.
It really has to get to the point of the last unanswered question. There is nothing more important to me than to know the truth. Sí.
Es decirnos, sí, que no es más importante, nada es más importante para nosotros que saber, conocer nuestra verdad.
See, there's Satan up there going like this, and Jesus goes, there is nothing more important to me than the truth.
Nada es más importante que la verdad.
So Jesus is the example we need of decisiveness. I will not tolerate anything of this world.
Es tener la visión.
To have any idea that it even has any power over me. That's his demonstration.
Esa es la demostración.
And then we're fighting with them whether we want to follow him. The play is to fight with Jesus, the one that was so definitive on who he was. He's so definitive. See, he's the model of being, this is the only truth. I'm going to see who I am.
Esa es la verdadera guía. El poder ver quiénes somos.
So is anyone else hearing anything from Jesus about guidance or things they want to look at more deeply around guidance?
Could I just ask one
¿Alguien
question?
más escucha algo más de Jesús?
I was just wondering if I'm following guidance most of the time, but it's just the timing that was off.
No,
It's been off. Oh, okay.
just ask him. That's where we have to get self-honest.
Yes.
Ella quiere saber si escucha, o sea, está. Can you hear me? Because your voice is slow for me. I think that my internet is have an interference.
Okay. So we won't be on much longer, but anyway,
Okay.
I think this is like a longer joining thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Saben, creemos que es un largo viaje. Eso creo.
It's you know, he says in A Course in Miracles, but you'll see it.
Eso es-
It's just a decision to accept nothing other than divinity.
Eso está en el curso de milagros. Es no aceptar nada más que la divinidad.
And just I refuse to accept anything else.
Y rehusarme a aceptar nada más.
So does anyone else have anything? Just a quick share before we go. How are we doing on time, Mary? What's the time?
24.
Yeah. So,
¿Alguien más tiene algo para compartir?
Fran, yeah.
I just want to share quickly. I had this wonderful shift when you said that listen to Holy Spirit, Jesus's voice, because it's my voice.
Es maravilloso cuando dice que escuchemos la voz, porque esa voz de
Did
Jesús es
something
mi
so
voz.
powerful in me to kind of mull over and look at and be in the silence with Jesus around that, because there is something that shifted. That's all I can say. I don't know what else to say about it, but I wanted to share it.
Sí, es muy poderoso el saber de que esa voz es la voz de Jesús y es mi voz.
It's helpful when we're no longer treating Jesus like the alien.
Es muy hermoso y poderoso el saber que la voz de Jesús no es una voz extraña.
And we see that he's the voice, he's the symbol of the voice within ourselves, the voice of truth, our own voice.
Sí, el saber que la voz es la voz interna, la voz, nuestra voz, es la voz del ser.
Anyone else?
¿Alguien más? ¿Alguna otra cosa?
See, getting to the point where we're so self-honest of, you remember when Mary came over and she had that list of everything that she bought at the store and she wanted to look at it?
¿Recuerdan lo que en el caso de Mary, que cuando ella va a la tienda ella tenía una lista de cada artículo que debía comprar?
See, that is the invitation to Jesus in these light circles to take out the list of all the
Esta-
things and have that level of honesty to just say, look, I went through these with Jesus. This was in guidance. I'm not sure if this was, that kind of thing, to be that level of honesty of God.
Esto es hacer con cada cosa que vayamos a hacer nuestra lista y lo hacemos desde la honestidad de Dios.
To go down the list together and say, hey, I looked at my list and I can see this was not in guidance and this is in guidance.
Y mirar entonces con la honestidad de lo que hemos hecho y decir esto ha estado en la guía, esto no ha estado en la guía.
And then if there is something you feel that's some kind of kerfuffle on that list or something that you're blocking him from showing you, then to join with a brother and go, I want to look at what's under that. I want to look at what's under that twitch and clear that through a miracle. I'm going to get my miracle on that.
Ok, y si sentimos que hay algo que no está claro, algo que lo bloquea, en cuanto a algo que esté en la lista, podemos unirnos con nuestro hermano para entonces mirarlo y decir que queremos el milagro ahora, aceptar ese milagro.
Because just remember, the ego's function is to object to anything that's going to help see this truth so it can keep this going.
El ego siempre va a estar tratando de distraernos para que no veamos lo que es verdad y no aceptemos el milagro.
So thank you, Jesus, for bringing us together. We love you.
Gracias, Jesús, por venir y compartir con nosotros aquí juntos. Los amamos. Bye, bye. Chao.